This is On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross, a weekly recap of your Philadelphia Flyers from blue line to blue line. Broadcasting live from Chickies and Pete's, tonight's show is brought to you by Han & Stone Spa, Pat Dion Beverages, The Capitol Grill, Chickies and Pete's, Payroll Service Solutions, and Independence Blue Cross. We now go live to Chickies and Pete's for On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Now, here are your hosts, former Flyer Brad Marsh and Paul Jolovitz.
And welcome, everybody, to beautiful Chickies and Pete's in Bordentown, New Jersey. On a warm but rainy Wednesday, this is On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross, right here on 1490 WBCB. We have our co-host today, Director of Alumni for the Philadelphia Flyers, Mr. Brad Marsh. How are you, buddy?
Doing great. How are you doing, Jolly?
Doing very well. And we brought a guest from the Hall of Fame, who you see on NBC Sports Philadelphia, my co-worker at WIP for the last 185 years. An NHL Hall of Fame, Elmer Ferguson winner in 2022. We are happy to have Mr. Al Morganti with us. How are you, Aldo?
I'm good. It's the media part of the Hall of Fame. I'm not in the Hall of Fame.
It's the media. I'm not the media part of the Hall of Fame. Are you, Brad?
No, but I was talking to Mr. Bill Clement on the way out here, who got inducted
He was in
at the
same time, yeah.
Same time, and he said to make sure he said a big hello.
Yep. Billy's out living in North Carolina, I think.
Yeah.
Near Asheville, yeah.
Asheville, yeah.
Normally we don't start a show this way with a biblical reference, but let there be light. We have light here. They didn't have too much of it last night, Al, at the Wells Fargo Center.
No, they had half the building. It was weird. Like one half had power and the other half didn't. It was like Dark Side of the Moon. We couldn't do a show. We only could, one of us. So of course, Scott's a bigger star than me.
He's not in the Hall of Fame though.
He should be for dealing with me. And he's got. So we did that, and it's a. I give the people credit though. It was pretty orderly, and I was telling Scott. I said, not anything against basketball. I said, but what are the chances the NBA would have continued with the game, with no music?
No music.
Because when you go to an NBA game, it never stops, right?
Yeah.
And like we actually thought, because I was talking with Bush before, I didn't think the goalies were going to agree to play. I really didn't think that.
With a dim light?
Yeah, I thought, oh, these goalies aren't going to allow this, and I guess. Flyers goalie didn't get a vote.
Yeah, I guess it's not their choice.
Well, Tortorella basically said, yeah, he didn't want to go, but I didn't care.
Yeah.
Tortorella, meanwhile, Brad, with a sling on his arm. I've heard players day to day. Flyers have some week to week. Ristolainen and then Drysdale's on injury reserve. Travis Konechny's day to day, and they're coaching a sling arm surgery on Monday, huh?
Yeah, that was something else that I hadn't really heard. Perhaps you knew about it, Al, but I hadn't really heard anything about it. And then next thing you know, he has a sling, and his hand looked pretty darn puffy after the.
Yeah, I think it was a thumb.
Yeah.
But I don't know how. I'm not even asking.
Yeah.
I don't even.
Yeah.
You won't get an answer anyhow.
No.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, guys, Flyers last night against a very good hockey club, the Tampa Bay Lightning, tied 1-1 after 2, played tough, played hard, just like they had against Pittsburgh and the Rangers. Never gave up. Last night, the fruits of the labors shown through. A little 5-goal third period, Brad, huh?
Yeah, another statement win by the team. We lost the 2 tough games that we easily could have won both those games, Al, and actually we outplayed the Rangers. But another statement game. Everyone's waiting. Okay, which way this team is going to go? How many times have we said that, or you said that on the broadcast, Al? Okay, are they going to answer the bell? What team are we going to see? And once again, another statement. Don't mean to repeat myself, but another statement win by this young team, and we're right there, man. We're in the driver's seat.
Yeah, they're the team people are trying to catch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not. Yeah, that was an impressive win because all the third period, Tampa made some mistakes, but the Flyers turned it into gold.
How about they took their goalie out with 4 minutes left in the second period?
Well, they're in pretty desperate straits.
They really are. You ever seen that before? 9 minutes left in the game?
I had never seen it that aggressive.
No.
But what was scary is how long they controlled the play. And there were 4 or 5 icings.
Yeah.
And I know old school people like to say, well, just get to the line and then but that's not the way it's done anymore.
Yeah.
You take the shot. You shoot your shot, I guess.
There's a lot of old-time coaches rolling in their grave.
Yeah, but I mean, they took it. But I mean, the third period, they scored off the rush. All three of the first 3 goals were off the rush, which is a really good sign because for a team that everybody thought was just going to work hard and that's it. No, there's some wheels, and they really, that offense was cooking, and you could tell it was like Tampa. You could feel like, what the hell?
Yeah, like when you're creating your offense.
Yep.
That's what teams will be watching in the video room, and then
Yeah.
and all of a sudden they are not playing as aggressively as they should because this team can generate offense.
Well, we talked about the Ranger game. They generated a lot of offense in the Pittsburgh game, which didn't matter because they lost 7-6. We talk about that now because today the Flyers waived Kyle Peterson. It's a procedural move. He could be sent back to Lehigh if he clears waivers. Sandstrom could come up. Anybody could be the backup goalie. Didn't have a great game against Pittsburgh, obviously. Al, is this a one-game reaction? Is it them saying just we don't want Cal, we want somebody else? Cal could be back Friday night, may not be. Obviously, with Carter Hart out and Urson the primary goaltender, should Tortorella play Urson back-to-back? Should he play him almost every game from now on?
He's not going to. He's just not going to do that to him. And it's, again, old school people say, well, it's not the playoffs or whatever, and it's still a young goalie, and he's done so much for him. I think they'll just play Sandstrom. I don't think you're going to see. I mean, look, I don't know how to judge goaltenders except that they stop the puck.
That's
I mean,
what they do.
even going back to like, well, no, but some people do. Like Bush can look at it more than. But I mean, even when I would go to practice, I mean, the last couple of weeks, I would just go like, it just doesn't look very good to me. But what do I know with goaltenders, right?
Yeah, the bottom line with the goaltenders, I know there's a lot of analytics that go into a goaltender's save percentage, et cetera, but the bottom line is, what's the score?
Yeah.
How many did you let in? Nobody gives a rat's ass about anything else. How many got behind you?
Well, 7 got behind him against Pittsburgh, and Flyers are still third in the Metro, coming toward the trade deadline next week, Brad, March 8th. Obviously, a big day for the Flyers. The Friday night fight's the same night. People wonder, are they going to trade people? Al, Brad, Walker, who had a great game last night, whose value keeps going up. Sealer, same thing. Scotty Lawton, same thing. Danny Briere's, I guess, between a rock and a hard place in a good way. He's got an ascending team, doing better than anybody thought they would. People that want his players, he don't want to give up on a potential cup, which I don't think he's doing, but you don't want to disappoint a fan base that's been starved forever. Al, put it on the blender. What do you get out of this?
Well, I think it strengthens their hand. I mean, Walker, I believe Tampa is going to be very interested in him now because they may not get a kid named Hannafin from Calgary. I mean, Calgary's holding everything up with what they haven't done. But, I mean, if you're Tampa now and you don't have the commodities to get the 2 guys that they really want, like the Flyers might get a first-round pick. Look, much as I really want them to keep the team together, even Tampa's, it won't be that high, but it's a first-round pick.
Yeah.
I believe Konechny was one of those trading deadline first-round picks, and it might have been with Tampa for Coburn, but it was like they turn into something.
Yeah.
So I do think that they've earned kind of keeping them together for a while, but honestly, if you're talking first-round pick on a prospect, I'm sorry, but that door's open.
Brad, this is a tough part of a general manager's existence. You don't want to give up on your team, but you don't want to give up on the future either. And you wind up being one of the flying Wallendas walking across that tightrope. You work down there. What's the mood like down at the Flyers?
The thing is Al mentioned Calgary. They've kind of quietly snuck back into the playoff race themselves with some big wins. And so they have a rookie GM there, too, that's trying to figure out what does he do. Does he make the push or does he sell? But the thing is I heard that there was like 15 different teams with their scouts there.
Yeah.
Like, really, when's the last time we had 15 different scouts watching a Flyers team, man? So it's exciting, and I think they're going to have a lot of options. But what I don't think is I still think they're going to stick to the game plan.
Yeah.
They're still building for the future, and the quote that Danny and Jonesy have used all season long is we're rebuilding, but we're rebuilding with a plan, so we're good year after year after year, not just going to get good for one specific playoff push.
So if you're getting calls out from GMs asking about this, and your response to them is that trying to obviously jack up the price to ridiculous levels as far as you can do, how do you handle it?
I try to get as much as I can. I mean, it's like it's going to have to make me an offer I can't refuse. It's
John Gotti offer, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be one of those offers. It's like, well, call me back when you can't get who you want. Then call me back. But I mean, I'm not anxious. I'm not anxious to trade Sealer, Walker, Lawton, unless I can get a bounty for him. And I actually think they're going to.
I think they are too.
I think the draft picks are always good, but I think the pro scouts are going to play a large part. Look at some of the players. I love the young kid. He's not a young kid anymore. We got from Florida, obviously, for Giroux.
Tippett?
Yeah, Tippett. He's a player, but that was a pro scout doing some homework there because we got the first round. But every team has some players, for whatever reason, haven't cracked that lineup. And they're drafted as a top player as an 18-year-old. So the pro scouts, I think, are going to play a big part in this trade deadline.
Tippett was a first-round pick, but he was a player there already. We're talking about getting first-round picks for these guys. So
he was a prospect. Though.
Yeah,
he was a prospect. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm talking about. We'll get picks from whatever deal that they decide to make, but they're also going for prospects.
Yeah, like Tippett was. Because they were so loaded, he kind of was blocked.
Yeah.
So you had to go watch him play and say, man, he can't make it there, but he's going to get a whole different avenue
so
here.
There's all kinds of players out there like that.
What about Wayne Gretzky, guys? In news,
we'll take him.
He changed his name apparently, guys, to Tyson Forster.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on with him?
He's a really good story because he plays really good defensively, which I was shocked. Because all I heard about was his shot, and because you go to practice and you watch the shot, and you oh my God, it's a laser. But he's always in the right place. It's funny, no matter what level you play at, guys that are always in the right place are like gold because you get in trouble and you look up. I was like, oh, thank you, yeah. he's there. It's really bizarre. I remember even playing like in. Charity, celebrity charity type games.
Yep.
You'll play with people that really don't know anything, and some that do. It's funny, and some guys just doing circles, and then you can tell a guy that played because I remember in Citizens Bank, or was it the Link, where the Flyers had that thing before with the outdoor game, and I'm playing like whatever, and nobody knows where the hell to go, and Sarah Baker, this woman. Yeah. She had played before, and I'm like, oh, thank God, I'm in trouble. I can always look over there. She's in the right spot. And Forster's always in the right place, which is that's a real testament to be. And then the goals are coming around now.
They've done this the last couple of days. You talk about not being able to withstand injuries. Obviously, they've withstood some situations this year. Now Travis Konechny, Brad, not playing for a couple games. Nothing seems to matter. Nothing seems to hold this team back. Nothing seems to keep them from not going to win every game, obviously, but fighting and playing 200 feet and playing defense and all these cliches. It's an absolutely fun team to watch for anybody that likes hockey, isn't it?
It sure is, and that tells me that they got, and we've said it many times, they got a good dressing room. The guys get along. They're excited to play. If somebody else gets a few extra minutes in a game, everybody sitting on the bench is excited for that young fella or that player that's getting. So that the whole next man up philosophy only works if the players buy into it, and this team has bought into it.
Well, evidenced out by last night, called up, hadn't played a game since January 15th. Bobby Brink scores right away. Bobby Orbrink, yeah. That is his name, right?
Yes, that's his official name.
Yep.
It was almost Clark, which is ironic. His dad couldn't decide between Bobby Clark and Bobby Orr, and he went with Orr.
I never heard that.
And he ends up here.
The Flyers, yeah. But no matter where, you just keep next man up, next man down, bing, bing, bing.
Yeah, they're running out, though. I don't know how many more next men there are on defense.
Well, if they trade Sealer, they trade Walker. Well, anybody down on the farm that you're looking forward to?
Adder, I mean, you've gone.
It's a drop-off.
Yeah, really.
No disrespect to those
Peterson,
players, but it's a drop-off.
They're not endless, right?
That's correct.
But they've got quite a little supply. I mean, we're going to talk about this tonight. Third in the playoff race. They could be a wild card, obviously, but you don't want to do that. They play Washington Friday night, the first of 15 games in March, which will obviously tell their tale. The trade deadline, March 8th. Danny Briere doing his job. We're going to talk much more about the Flyers with Al Morganti and Brad Marsh. This is On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. We're here at Chickies and Pete's in Bordentown. A lot of TVs fired up, a lot of good atmosphere, a lot of lights. Can't say that about our building last night. Back with the show right after this. Stay with us, folks.
Hey, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. Dive into our delectable seasonal seafood specials, including our Chickies and Pete's Sticky Lobster Tacos, succulent Brazilian tail meat in a spicy sauce, or try our Chickie and Pete's Shrimp Po' Boy, our signature fried shrimp, lettuce, roasted tomato, and a cherry pepper sauce, served on a fresh baguette. Plus, don't forget our Chickie and Pete's buy one, get one sweet and tasty snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday. Only at Chickies and Pete's.
Millions of Americans are losing their medical assistance or Medicaid coverage. If this affects you, Independence Blue Cross can help. You may be eligible to enroll in a health plan for as little as $0 a month. With Independence Blue Cross, you get the largest provider network in the area, including most Keystone First doctors and hospitals. We also offer free 24/7 telemedicine, coverage for hospital stays and prescriptions. See if you qualify for $0 health insurance and enroll today. Call Independence Blue Cross at 1-844-464-2583 or visit ibx.com/staycovered.
Payroll Service Solutions was established in 2001 to cater to the payroll needs of small to medium-sized businesses. Payroll Service Solutions offers unparalleled customer service while they deliver a complete and accurate payroll. When calling Payroll Service Solutions, you will never be put into a voicemail or go through a series of prompts to get to a person. All customer service representatives are extensively trained to handle all of your payroll needs, therefore saving you time. They value each and every one of their clients. No account is too small. Call Payroll Service Solutions today at 1-866-PAY-EASY for a no-obligation review of your payroll needs. That number again is 1-866-PAYEASY. Payroll Service Solutions.
Joseph Anthony Retreat Spa and Salon is the true retreat from the everyday, with locations in Glen Mills, Springfield, and Center City. Joseph Anthony is a premier salon and spa destination that offers unique and luxurious services such as the soft pack float and hydrofacial. The Center City location, located on the 5th floor of the beautiful Lowe's Hotel, is now open and features an exclusive summer menu where you can indulge in the Joseph Anthony experience in the exquisite Turkish bath. Joseph Anthony's little black card is the perfect gift for all your loved ones' relaxation needs. Call or go online to josephanthony.com. That's josephanthony.com. A truly unique dining experience awaits you at Fogo de Chão. Fogo de Chão awes patrons with their history and tradition of authentic Brazilian steakhouse, offering many cuts of decadent fire-roasted meats prepared over an open fire and served tableside by trained gaucho chefs. Fogo de Chão, 1337 Chestnut Street in Center City, Philadelphia. For reservations, go to www.fogo.com or call 215-636-9700.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, to get all your essentials in one place, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Hair Cuttery, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Once again, here are your hosts, Paul Jolovitz and former Flyer Brad Marsh.
And you are listening to On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross, live from Chickies and Pete's right here on 1490 WBCB. Next week we have Kerry Fraser, longtime NHL ref, and then 2 weeks from now at Chickies and Pete's in South Philly, the president of the Philadelphia Flyers, Dan Hilferty, will join us, and all kinds of great guests on the Ice. And we also give all kinds of stuff for the Player of the Week, the Independence Blue Cross Fearless Player of the Week every week. This week is Tyson Forster, who returned from a foot injury on Sunday, now has scored 7 goals in his last 7 games. Remember to choose Independence Blue Cross today and begin to live fearless. Guys, fearless are the players in the NHL. Refs, I don't know how you describe it, but I was talking to a couple referee friends of mine last night, and Garrett Rank, who's an NHL ref, who's also a pro golfer, played in the U.S. Open, believe it or not. Reviewed a goal the other day, Al, that I don't know who scored it or where he scored it. I should, but I don't. And in his review, he didn't just do the Joe Friday, just the facts, ma'am. He said, you're not going to be happy about this, but the goal's still disallowed, and he did kind of with some oomph. Do you like the refs having a personality or not?
I do. I like Kerry Frazier, and I liked, all of them back in the day. I mean, they used to have their names on the back.
Yep.
And I think
they took it off after the lockout.
I think Batman did away with it.
Yep.
Advari and Andy Van Horrible and all of them that I
Bob Myers.
Me
and Billy C were talking about Bob Myers today. He was terrible.
Bruce Hood.
Yeah.
Who's your least favorite ref, Brad?
Well, Bob Myers was right up there. But I love the refs having a personality. Back in the day, you could talk to them, and quite often you would cross paths with them in the restaurant or the bar after the game, and they had a personality, and there was never any hard feelings, even though we didn't like some of them because the way they called the game. There was still a mutual respect, but now they're like robots out there, and every game's called the same. No ref has a personality. Sometimes you would have a referee. Oh, you could do this because he would let that go, but he's pretty strict on this. And so you got to know the referees and how they call the games. Now everybody's a robot out there.
Kerry will be able to tell this story next week, but I got to throw this in now. Kerry told me one time his best ref story was he's in Montreal one night, and somebody trips somebody, puts his arm up, and the other team had the puck for so long they didn't lose the puck that Kerry forgot which defenseman he called it on. So the puck stops, the other team gets the puck, he goes 22 red, 2 minutes for holding. The guy's like, what? He said he was so genuine, Jolly, that I knew I screwed it up. I said to the other guy, 24, 2 minutes for holding. Guy went right to the box. I love that kind of stuff, Hal.
Yeah. They're under a lot of. I don't mind the personality. It doesn't bother me a little bit. I can understand why they might not like it at certain points. Like they think they're bigger than the game, but I never found that. I always thought guys I knew respected the game a whole lot.
Does it bother you that it bothers the league that guys do stuff like this?
Yeah.
I think they should do away with the ref talking, period, because I hate that part of the game.
That's for the fans, I guess.
Yeah, but you saw the penalty, and then he goes tripping. He does the
Nobody even knows
call.
What those signals are.
Yeah, but I don't like when the ref
football.
says, because some of them have such a squeaky voice.
I mean, the thing doesn't work half the time.
I'm not a big fan of the refs talking, period.
All right, I know you're a big fan of the Flyers, Brad. One question, one Flyer this year who has been the most pleasant surprise for Brad Marsh based on expectations, reality, and what's going on?
Well, I'll go back to we mentioned him in trade rumors. Like I'll go with Walker. I didn't even know who the heck he was when they, throw in. I don't follow the game like Al does, reporting the games and so on and so on. I think Walker, and I'll tell you what, he's a big reason why we are where we are. And so, like to me, that was the big surprise because he came, in my hockey knowledge, he came out of nowhere.
Yeah, you look at it with the goalie coming and how sweet a deal that front office made to get him. Like knowing Jonesy in the past, Jonesy was in the media covering a lot of games, and he really liked him. And right-handed shot, moves pretty well.
Yep.
But he's been great. I honestly think Ersson should be in the Rookie of the Year conversation.
Mm-hmm. And Forster.
I would go with the goalie, though, more because you look at the pressure that he was put under when all this stuff happened with Hart. I mean, now it's you're the man. You can't, and he had some rough goes. I mean, he had some terrible starts. Even last year, he's officially a rookie this year. But, I mean, he's bounced back a lot. And the mental pressure on a goaltender is incredible when you look at it. And like the Flyers have played a lot of games where they can come back because the goalie doesn't let in another goal.
Yep.
You get behind by one, maybe two, but then it doesn't get out of hand.
That was a problem on Sunday, obviously, with Peterson.
Well, yeah. That was a bad. And the other goalie wasn't much better. No. And you look at it, the game they lost Saturday, they lost because they were out goaltended and they had good goaltending. But Shesterkin was terrific.
All right, guys. I'm going to Vegas in 2 weeks, and they posted the odds for Coach of the Year, the Jack Adams Trophy last week during one of the games. Talk was the favorite, who's doing a great job out in Vancouver. I can't remember who was second choice, but Tortorella was 13-1 third choice. What the hell are they watching? To me, Tortorella, if I had a vote, which I don't, Taka's done an amazing job, and other guys have too, but Tortorella is absolutely the coach of the year to me, isn't he, to you, Brad?
Well, who votes for that?
The
It's
hockey
the broadcasters.
Well,
the broadcasters?
I think he maybe have ticked some of them broadcasters off, and he won't get many votes. But I don't know, but we're close to the situation. He has done an unbelievable job. Talk is the story in the league because Vancouver was last place
Talk,
when he took over, and they're in first place.
Yep.
Yeah, Talk to me, it's between Talk and Torts, but Talk has that Vancouver team, nobody expected this.
Yeah.
And I kind of love them because their analytics are terrible, but they're playing well.
Yeah.
And they've got some issues with personalities there. Their big Swede isn't the most popular guy there, but he's their star player. And, Talk's managed to keep it all together.
That's interesting you say that because I'm not real close other than the wins.
Yeah.
I see, they won again. They won again.
Yeah.
But with their analytics, that could come back and kick him in the butt in the playoffs when those things really do
What
matter.
could also help him, I heard you on WIP the other night, and I'm sure, Brad, you've been part of this too, is Taka has never been to a restaurant in which anybody with him paid a penny of a check.
No, Talk's the best. Well, when he used to do when he was an analyst, it was so great because, he'd come in and it's not just, he wouldn't just like have McDonald's. He would bring in food from like Capitol Grill, and it always had like every starter thing, like an appetizer, a soup. And every would be May, be 82 degrees. But the soup was coming in, and he'd pay for this.
The lobster bisque.
Oh, lobster bisque.
bisque.
Oh, he's got it all, man. He's got, oh my God, Talk. I guess he was the first generation of guys that made a ton of money.
But Brad, you said something as a joke, but it's true. If people are voting on something, human beings, then whether people like you might matter. That soup could win Taka Coach of the Year this year.
There you go. He's got Al's vote.
He's got mine. He's bringing more meal. He spent more on dinner than I made on the show.
You're one of the most humble guys I know, Al. You're a great guy. You're very, very humble. You're salt of the earth. I wonder what your mom would say. Your parents, I know you told me you're no longer with us. What would your mother say if your parents were sitting here and I have introduced you as Hall of Famer Al Morganti? Whether you believe you're in the Hall of Fame or not, you still have that title affixed to you. What would your mother say?
Honestly?
Yeah.
She still would be yelling at me for not being a doctor. Why didn't you do... Why didn't you... We got you into school. What are you doing?
Such a waste. Such a waste.
Yes.
Such a waste.
Your whole family with all these real jobs.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You've seen the world, right? Lived in
Oh
Australia.
yeah, but it's like if you're the first, it's funny being in the media when you don't have anybody in the family that's like, the media's not taken seriously, kind of like, what the hell are you doing with your life?
How many Olympics have you covered?
Oh man, all the way from 80, 84. I did not go to it was the mistake of my life. 1980.
Yeah.
They asked me if I want to go to the Olympics.
44 years ago last week.
So I'm covering the Flyers, and I'm very good friends with Jack O'Callahan, Jimmy Craig, Aruzioni, all those guys, right? So I'm like, I don't know, they're not very good, and so I go up to New York like a couple of weeks before, and I say O'Callahan did play in the game, and they got run out of the building.
10-3 at the Garden.
I forget what. I just know I'm like, okay, I'm not going, and then it turns into the greatest story of all time.
So you say yes now every time.
I go. Yeah, I covered like a lot of them.
Yeah.
I covered Yugoslavia with Eddie Olczyk was 16 years old on the team.
Yeah.
And I actually was, when you grew up where I did in New England, the Olympics are big even before 80. And Mark Howe played in the 72 Olympics.
He was 16 years old.
And won a silver medal. Guy I played with baseball with, Robbie Fatorik, was there.
The sweater guy.
Yeah, he would wear a sweater behind the bench.
5'5", right?
Yeah, he was. I remember Robbie. He played in the World Hockey, and they had to let two players wear number 8 on the same team because Claude LaRose, I think his name, wore number 8. So they let two guys play number 8. He was the MVP on a last place team in Phoenix, the Roadrunners, and then he went into the NHL, and
he had the bad helmet too.
He had a bad helmet, and I remember, we would play soccer, and we didn't know how to play soccer, and he was playing goal and stopped stopped the ball, took the ball, went down the field, and scored like this beautiful goal. And the coach, because you're not a goalie.
Yeah.
Brad, if your mom and dad had a choice as to name your profession, obviously you were a first-round pick, had a great career. Hockey's been your life, a big part of it. What would your mom and dad have picked for you?
Oh, I'm not so sure, because hockey was a big part of our lives, all three of the Marsh boys growing up. And I kind of had, I played junior at 14, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I was always a hockey player, and I think secretly they hoped that it worked out for me. So there was never really any discussion of doing anything else. I didn't really have a job that required not putting on skates until I retired at 36 years old. So that's the only thing I ever wanted to do is play hockey.
That's cool. Let's keep working that after this. We're going to come back, talk a lot about the Flyers. Jamie Drysdale went on injured reserve today. We'll find out what Brad and Al think about that, the injury situation. How deep are the Flyers? Guess we're going to find out, because Walker, the same right-handed defenseman as Drysdale, can they afford to trade him now? Trade deadline is going to be in our thoughts for the next week and a half. On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. We are Chickies and Pete's in Bordentown, New Jersey. We love being here. We hope you enjoy the show, and we're going to be back. Chris Irmer is going to push a couple buttons. Back right after this. Stay with us.
It's Pete from Chickie and Pete's, the official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles. Here's a winner, fall football, and Chickies and Pete's mouth-watering snow crab legs. For a limited time, buy one and get one free snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday. Enjoy the sweet, delicate flavor of snowy white crab meat dressed in our special blend of seasonings and spices. Pair it with an ice-cold draft beer or one of our signature cocktails. Buy one and get one free snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday for a limited time. Restrictions apply. Chickies and Pete's.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
Payroll Service Solutions was established in 2001 to cater to the payroll needs of small to medium-sized businesses. Payroll Service Solutions offers unparalleled customer service while they deliver a complete and accurate payroll. When calling Payroll Service Solutions, you will never be put into a voicemail or go through a series of prompts to get to a person. All customer service representatives are extensively trained to handle all of your payroll needs, therefore saving you time. They value each and every one of their clients. No account is too small. Call Payroll Service Solutions today at 1-866-PAY-EASY for a no-obligation review of your payroll needs. That number again is 1-866-PAYEASY. Payroll Service Solutions.
A truly unique dining experience awaits you at Fogo de Chão. Fogo de Chão awes patrons with their history and tradition of authentic Brazilian steakhouse, offering many cuts of decadent fire-roasted meats prepared over an open fire and served tableside by trained gaucho chefs. Fogo de Chão, 1337 Chestnut Street in Center City, Philadelphia. For reservations, go to www.fogo.com or call 215-636-9700. Joseph Anthony Retreat Spa and Salon is the true retreat from the everyday, with locations in Glen Mills, Springfield, and Center City. Joseph Anthony is a premier salon and spa destination that offers unique and luxurious services such as the soft pack float and hydrofacial. The Center City location, located on the 5th floor of the beautiful Lowe's Hotel, is now open and features an exclusive summer menu where you can indulge in the Joseph Anthony experience in the exquisite Turkish bath. Joseph Anthony's little black card is the perfect gift for all your loved ones' relaxation needs. Call or go online to josephanthony.com. That's josephanthony.com.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood Restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, to get all your essentials in one place, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Hair Cuttery, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Once again, here are your hosts, Paul Jolovitz and former Flyer Brad Marsh.
And welcome back, folks. It's time now for the Smart Stat of the Week, brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions. Our friend Danny. Call them today at 1-866-PAY-EASY. That's 1-866-PAY-EASY. We're counting down the days. 9 days till the deal deadline of March 8th. What's Danny going to do? Stay tuned, Danny and Keith. That was your Flyers Smart Stat of the Week. Once again, brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions. Call them today at 1-866-PAY-EASY for the smart choice on payroll services. Payroll Service Solutions, catering to the small and medium-sized business to handle all of your payroll needs. Call them once again at 1-866-PAY-EASY. And speaking of calls, guys, Flyers might have to make a couple calls. J.B. Drysdale looked like a shoulder injury. They didn't say, but if you have eyes and saw how he skated off the ice, the same shoulder he hurt last year. Don't know the severity, Brad, but Sean Walker, also right-handed defenseman. Does that change Danny Briere at the deadline? I mean, Rasmus Ristolainen also is defenseman. They've been playing 7D, but now they're a little hurt on the back line. He's out week to week. Jamie on injured reserve. What does that mean?
I don't know. I think he can, if he wants, as Al said earlier, that he can just keep asking for more and more and give us your best offer. Now he can say, well, look, guys, I can't really afford to get rid of him or trade him, so you got to up the ante. If you really want him, you got to up the ante.
And you can also go get somebody with an expiring contract because they have room on their cap.
Yep.
Because of the heart,
Al should be GM.
There we are. I could be. Do you ever want to be a GM?
No. I see what it does to people. No.
Here's one for you, both of you guys, ice-wise. A lot of people say the Flyers, when the other team takes a penalty, should decline the penalty and send one of their guys to the box instead, because they have like 14 shorthanded goals this year, only 24 power play goals. Why the hell is this happening? Obviously, they're diligent and great on the PK, but the way they score, guys, there's teams that kill penalties, but the scoring and the lack of scoring in the power play, is there any way to explain this at all?
I can't. I never can explain power plays. I mean, the Penguins have Hall of Fame players that doesn't work for weeks, months. It doesn't work. I do think they've tried too many things. I mean, I just, we talk about it all the time.
Too much passing?
Well, I mean, just too many combinations of players. I think the plan was that Frost was going to run a power play better, and he really hasn't, despite all of his skills. He hasn't. I was wondering who's going to unlock this. What player is going to unlock this power play? Actually, Zamula's been as good as any at getting the shot through, but no, it really has. It's been a ton of different combinations, and nothing seems to work.
Brad, I know you didn't play a lot of power play in your career, killed a lot of penalties. What do you think the key is to a D-man at the penalty? Do you believe forwards should run the power play, or a D-man? Doesn't matter? What's...
I don't. It's so hard to say. And once again, as Al said, they've tried everything. But I mean, we're a good team, and we've overachieved. I don't know if that's fair to say.
It is.
And but we're a hardworking team. And when we put out our 5 players on the power play, and this really jumped out at me with the Tampa power play, was number 1 in the league. Look at the skill that they had on their power play. It's like as a guy that killed penalty, you're going out there. Okay, I got to be on my toes. And sometimes, when the power play's struggling, or their players such as that we put on the ice, and no disrespect by any means, but you just stay in your box, and they're going to mess up. They're going to screw it up eventually. And so we just don't have that one guy, the 2 guys that anybody worries about out there. And when you were worrying about, I remember Mike Bossy, he was the first guy that kind of switched to the offside. And as a defenseman, I'm the left defense, and that's supposed to be my guy, and all of a sudden he's on the opposite side of the ice. You start thinking, and then you're out of position yourself, and I don't know if it'll come, but they're working at it, and hey, it gets hot in April, we'll be okay with it, and no one will remember how bad it was throughout the season.
I want to talk about Tortorella a little bit, but Brad, in relation to the ice and then to his coaching style, which I think has evolved. I don't think all coaches evolve. I think he has. But as far as his style, he doesn't want anything except everything all the time from all his players. Constant effort, which is nothing wrong with asking. Every shift, every game, he's getting it 200 feet. Defense, again, I mentioned the cliches. But again, hockey, as well as every game, is played by human beings. And Brad Marsh is a human being, and Nick Seeler is a human being. And when somebody winds up with a slapper that's going to come at you at 100 miles an hour, it's not human nature to say, I want to get in front of that thing. How do you do it again and again and again, knowing it's going to hurt, knowing you may skate off looking like you're about to die and then come back 5 minutes later fresh as a daisy? How hard is that, and what kind of mental fortitude does that take?
Well, I can't remember when the shot blocking became such a thing by everybody.
Yeah.
I know it's a stat, and I know it's a stat they can use in contract negotiations now, but it's been in the last number of years that everybody seems to be sacrificing their body at different times in a game to block a shot. It's just, I think it's just one of those things that the young players now are seeing the big guys do it, and they're doing it in minor hockey. Like, not to bring the Warriors up again, like, we're playing a game and I see Warrior guys sliding to block a shot because they saw an NHL guy do it. And so these guys that are blocking shots, they've done it at a young age even now, and so it's kind of second nature now that they're in the big leagues. But it is a knack, and I remember back in 80, I was traded here in 81, and we wore the stupid Cooperalls.
Yeah.
That threw my timing off like crazy because we used to wear the old wool socks, and so when you went down to block a shot, the wool would stick on the ice, and you have your timing down. And my first couple of games when them
slide your face go right there.
Yeah. You slide right through the shooting zone.
Yeah.
And
right through.
I don't play media hockey because I don't skate well enough. But when you play media hockey, pond hockey, Saturday night beer hockey.
No, nobody blocks a shot.
Yeah, nobody blocks a shot.
Flamingo.
It's Flamingo City.
Flamingo.
No way.
But the thing is, the flamingo hurts more when you lift that one leg.
And your foot, right on the top of your foot. You get that.
That hurts, man.
And equipment's very, very good now, comparatively.
Yeah.
But still, I still don't like certain players blocking shots. I mean, if I have a really skilled guy, I'm like,
McDavid
breaks his hand.
Yes. And you go in,
McDavid broke his hand in a fight, I remember, in juniors.
Yeah,
like 4
but
months.
blocking shots, and it's terrible when somebody doesn't know how to do it. It's really risky to try to do it. But they seem to know how to do it now, as Brad said, at a younger age, where their gap is better to come in and to get it before. And I'm amazed that it hasn't turned into a detriment because of the rebound off of them at times to go the other way. Because I've seen guys that don't know what they're doing, like, whoa, that thing is flying.
And another thing, you saw Sanheim this week on a breakaway. Had no idea what to do with the puck. It's like his third one of the year, which is beneficial. But one thing that doesn't fly in hockey, that flies in other sports, is load management, guys.
We're going to talk about that again.
We got to. I mean, NBA players pulled this, pulled that, sit out a week, sit out a day. It's a testament to NHL players, Brad, that you talk about it with hockey players. Even you now, a retired player, you start laughing and making fun of it, which I understand. Load management to a hockey player, I understand there's less pulled muscles, less strain on the joints.
The thing is, in basketball, when they do the load management, they're not injured. They're resting them because they can't play too many games in a week or a 10-day period.
That does happen, yeah.
What do you mean it does? It happens all the time.
Yep.
Oh, he's played 3 games in 5. He better sit the next one.
What's your point of view of that, Al?
It's too much information is what it is. It's when you put, like, all these players now agree to have the all the stuff on their shirts, at their jerseys at practice. So they take all these readings. When you tell somebody that they're tired, they're going to be tired. I mean, really. I mean, that's just the way it is. If you convince them that they're not optimal. In the first place, I don't understand why you expect people to be optimal all the time. It's not that case. The NBA, if that check engine light comes on, they don't take the car out of the garage. the rest of us take the car out of the garage. I mean, that's basically what it amounts to. You're not going to be at full tank all the time. You're just not. And they do load manage in hockey, though, in terms of practice anymore. Yeah. And that's what I can understand, the travel and whatever. But they do, compared to even 5 years ago, their practice get light. There's much lighter load in practice.
Well, you got to get through a season, 82 games, and that evolution is what we're going to talk about on the way back. I want to talk to Brad about Mike Keenan. Did he ever evolve as a head coach? He coached many teams. In my uneducated opinion, because I never played, I watched Mike Keenan in his 16th year coach the same way as he did in his first year, and he was a great coach, and there's nothing wrong with that. But to me, you got to evolve in life no matter what you're doing, and John Tortorella has definitely changed his style and definitely changed his stripes, knows what to push buttons and when, what buttons to push and when. We'll hear what Al and Brad have to say about that. When we come back, final segment from Chickies and Pete's in Bordentown, New Jersey, on the ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross, rolls on after this. Stay with us, folks.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. Relax and enjoy a cocktail from our seasonal cocktail menu. Try one of our delicious, perfectly blended options like strawberry lemonade. How about a raspberry sangria, blend of Pinot Grigio, raspberry liqueur, and bubbly lemon lime soda? Or maybe a Hendrick's Gimlet or a Patron Tropical Mojito is more your style. Enjoy one of these or many others from our Chickie and Pete's sensational seasonal cocktail selection. Only at Chickies and Pete's.
At Independence Blue Cross, we believe in giving you the tools you need to pursue your healthiest life. From premiums as low as $0 per month to health discounts and cash rewards, it pays to have coverage with Independence. With the strongest network of doctors and hospitals in the region and free 24/7 virtual doctor visits, you can feel confident that quality care is always within reach. Learn more about your coverage options at ibx.com.
Payroll Service Solutions was established in 2001 to cater to the payroll needs of small to medium-sized businesses. Payroll Service Solutions offers unparalleled customer service while they deliver a complete and accurate payroll. When calling Payroll Service Solutions, you will never be put into a voicemail or go through a series of prompts to get to a person. All customer service representatives are extensively trained to handle all of your payroll needs, therefore saving you time. They value each and every one of their clients. No account is too small. Call Payroll Service Solutions today at 1-866-PAY-EASY for a no-obligation review of your payroll needs. That number again is 1-866-PAYEASY. Payroll Service Solutions.
A truly unique dining experience awaits you at Fogo de Chão. Fogo de Chão awes patrons with their history and tradition of authentic Brazilian steakhouse, offering many cuts of decadent fire-roasted meats prepared over an open fire and served tableside by trained gaucho chefs. Fogo de Chão, 1337 Chestnut Street in Center City, Philadelphia. For reservations, go to www.fogo.com or call 215-636-9700. Joseph Anthony Retreat Spa and Salon is the true retreat from the everyday. With locations in Glen Mills, Springfield, and Center City, Joseph Anthony is a premier salon and spa destination that offers unique and luxurious services such as the soft pack float and hydrofacial. The Center City location, located on the 5th floor of the beautiful Lowe's Hotel, is now open and features an exclusive summer menu where you can indulge in the Joseph Anthony experience in the exquisite Turkish bath. Joseph Anthony's little black card is the perfect gift for all your loved ones' relaxation needs. Call or go online to josephanthony.com. That's josephanthony.com.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, to get all your essentials in one place, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Hair Cuttery, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Once again, here are your hosts, Paul Jolovitz and former Flyer Brad Marsh.
Thank you for listening, everybody. We're always happy to be here with Al Morganti as our guest. Brad Marsh is our co-host. Al Morganti worked for 30 years with a guy I worked with as well, not obviously as closely, Angelo Cataldi, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, coming into the station, now staying up till 10, 11 o'clock at night. Man never sleeps with Ashlyn Sullivan and Scott Hartnell. Angelo, Scott, with Ashlyn thrown in, what's more of a challenge to you?
Oh, Scott's a handful, but I love working with him. No, I've been lucky. I work with really good people and on my TV side for a lot of years, and Ashlyn's terrific. I don't know how she picked up. She'd never even seen hockey before she came here.
Wow.
And she works really hard. I've worked with a lot of women, and Taryn was terrific. Ashlyn just does the interviews, then comes back upstairs, does podcasts. It's great, and Scott's a blast. And he really knows the game. He's really terrific at breaking down video and stuff. Mm-hmm. And he has a great sense of humor, and he has fun. I mean, he really, the fans in every city was at love him because he just interacts with the fans and has a blast. Oh yeah, he has a blast.
Brad, and I know we've never talked about Wing Bowl, but the man next to you basically invented Wing Bowl, which turned into a
disaster.
Well, it turned into everything. You name it, it turned into it. Did you ever watch a Wing Bowl? Go to a Wing Bowl?
Well, they were at the Wells Fargo Center for years, and so I witnessed them. Never participated in one.
That's a good idea.
And but that's one of those Philly things that, hey, you got an idea, and then it goes, and would a Wing Bowl work to that
anymore?
No, I don't mean anymore. In any other city,
maybe
in
New Orleans.
Okay,
that might be it.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things that the Philadelphia grabbed onto it, and it was theirs, and they loved what it became.
If somebody told you the first year when you were in the hotel, two guys eating across a desk from each other, that 20 years from now, 15, whatever it was before it started there, you'd have 20,000 people watching in an arena with...
No. I still don't believe it happened. It's like,
amazing.
Yeah, really. Well, people, I guess they just wanted a party.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is I know it became what it became, but the first time you went to, was it in the Spectrum or always at Wells Fargo?
It was always at Wells Fargo.
We had the Spectrum once.
Okay, so the first time you were in that venue, you must have said, holy moly, like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, no. The Electric Factory.
Yeah.
Then just got bigger. I think we went to the Spectrum. I'm pretty sure, but I might be wrong.
But regardless, okay, we're in an NHL arena.
Hey, yeah, I know.
People pay all this money.
Yeah. Bench, boards, all that stuff. It was great.
It was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then we had to charge money because try to keep the crowd down.
Yeah.
All right, charge money. People pay for tickets. People are starting to pay for Flyer tickets again. Crowds are getting back up. People involved with the game, not just the presentation. Brad's down there. Everybody loves it. And John Tortorella is coaching. And John Tortorella was a coach in his 40s. Now he's in his 60s. Said he's old, had hand surgery. But he's evolved, guys. He used to have one style, a Mike Keenan-like style. Brad could comment more on that because he played for Mike Keenan. Certain guys just put their foot on the throttle and never let it up and never change. And they're great coaches. Nothing wrong with that style, but you can always improve. Tortorella really seems to be plugged into the young guys, maybe talk to them, find out what's going on, more of the modern athlete. Is that a fair statement, Brad, to say that Tortorella has evolved in some ways, whereas some other guys may not have? And what kind of advantage is that with a team like this?
I think it's 100% correct. He has evolved. He's not the same. Perhaps he's the same hockey coach, but he's not the same personality.
Great way to put it. Yep.
And the thing that I've heard, and I've only met and talked to John a number of times, but never about hockey. It's always about all the other things that he has going.
Dogs.
Great guy. But the thing that I've heard is every player knows where they stand.
Yeah.
And the worst thing in professional sports is the head games that some of these coaches play, and that really, really drags on a player's psyche when he's not sure if the coach likes him, he's not sure what the coach thinks, and so on and so on. But they know where they stand with John Tortorella.
Yeah, they do. And I think he's different than Keenan. I mean, I've seen enough coaches. Keenan was a very good coach emotionally, get you charged up. Technically, I'm not so sure. But I know, but Keenan was a weird coach because I think when you didn't play well, I always got the sense that the message was you let me down as a coach. But Tortorella has this message that you let your teammates down. It's not a big, but it's a difference. And it's why his locker room is so important. Like Keenan, I always thought took it almost personally when you didn't play.
We always hear about the room with Tortorella. He always takes that temperature.
Yeah.
So, all right.
That's an excellent analogy, and sitting in the dresser room many times, getting yelled at.
Yeah, well, yeah, really.
It makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. But it was funny when we had the. I guess it would have been, I'm trying to remember what alumni game, but a lot of the 80 players were back. That's one nice thing about being the president of the alumni. I can bring back who I want to bring back a lot of times. And we had a lot of guys, and Mike came back. It was his first time back. Yep. And we were sitting down in our alumni lounge, and it was pretty funny. The guys were just carving Mike. It was funny. And then we all got a picture together. I actually got to find that picture, but anyhow, it was a funny night because the guys were just ripping into Mike. We had some guys that were ready to kill him.
I think so.
Let's open up Pandora's box. We got 2 minutes left. Trade deadline next week. Friday night fights. The Carnival.
That's going to be fun. They got to show that fight with Delorier at that Friday night.
Great fight last week.
Yeah, you got to show that.
With Matt Rempe, you'd been in the NHL for 3 days.
Yeah, you got to show that fight.
All right, guys. Stanley Cup. That's the holy grail of this sport. That's what the Flyers are rebuilding for. That's what the trade deadline and everything else is centered around. 50 years this year since Stanley Cup won. Al, Brad, obviously the Flyers have a mathematical chance in it because anybody that gets in the playoffs can win it. Is there any reality that a Flyer fan should have thinking maybe if the U.S. Olympic team meshes with blah, 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 is there any way after 4 rounds of playoffs the Flyers could possibly be holding Lord Stanley's Cup this year, Al? I'd
be wicked shocked. I don't think so. I mean, you never know going in, but I don't think that they have. I don't know what's going to happen to the trade deadline either. So,
but they're not going to buy.
No, I don't think so. But I don't think that they could. They can go through 4 rounds like that. I think you're looking at a Florida, Edmonton, Toronto, Boston.
Brad, any Miracle on Ice Philadelphia
Vegas
versions coming up?
Well, I'm chuckling because you asked the same question to Jimmy Watson. 2 weeks ago.
Jimmy's pretty optimistic.
Jimmy says, damn right. Damn right, we're going to win the Cup. Tell me why we won't win the Cup.
Yeah.
But, you know, you get in, you have a chance. But right now, 4 rounds of Stanley Cup hockey is pretty tough. And I just, as much as we all want it to happen, I just looking at the standings right now, like we draw Carolina in that first round.
Yeah.
All of a sudden we're in the second round because we have a good chance. You don't want to go down to the wild card.
Yeah.
Because then you're playing the Bostons of the world. Yep. And if we can hold third.
Well, the Islanders played the Bostons of the world last year and took them right out in the first round.
Yeah.
Well, it's Florida.
Florida, excuse me.
Yeah. And then went to the final.
Yeah. And but anyhow, you know, it's like we're sitting good. Then all of a sudden you're in the second round. Then
who knows?
Maybe something could happen. But
Jimmy Watson knows it, so that's good enough for me.
But regardless, we all hope the best for him. And regardless of what happens, this year has been a success, 100%. And I don't want to say I'm looking forward to next year because there's a lot of hockey left to play for this Philadelphia.
Hopefully we'll have some playoff shows this year. We haven't had playoff shows in a few years. We go every Wednesday until the Flyers lose. Hopefully that'll be into June. Reality-wise, maybe into May, but we continue to have fun. We've had a great time tonight with our guest, Al Morganti. Al, you always come on a moment's notice. Thanks so much for being here.
No worries.
Good luck on NBC Sports. Yep. Brad, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Next week we'll have Kerry Fraser. We'll be at Roosevelt Boulevard. Chris Hermer has produced this fine program. Stephen Lawler, thank you for spinning the knobs, turning the dials back at the station. Thanks to my wife Amy for coming tonight. For everybody here at Chickies and Pete's in Bordentown, this is On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Remember again, the former head of Independence Blue Cross and now chairman of the Flyers, Dan Hilferty, on March 13th at Chickies and Pete's at Packer Avenue. This has been Chickies and Pete's in Bordentown. We've had a great time. We'll be back next week. Have a great week, everybody, and go Flyers.
You've been listening to On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Tonight's show is an exclusive presentation of 1490 WBCB and heard around the world at WBCB1490.com.